So we all know Christmas is right around the corner, and my mother and my wife are holiday decor fanatics. So I'm going to be making them these woodworking projects. These are just wood Christmas trees. I got the inspiration from Cedar River Woodworking, this guy right here, and I'll put his link in the description. Go check him out. But I was online and I did a little research, and I found out that you could really sell these things for a lot of money. That's not the purpose of this video. I'm just in it to make some gifts because I'm in a time crunch and Christmas is right around the corner. So stick around, stay tuned, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to make this project. So first thing we're going to do is bevel our saw at 30 degrees. We're going to go ahead and cut one side of this board. So being a 1x6, our width is going to be about 5.5. So we'll go ahead, pull from our long point of the angle over 5.5 inches. We'll line up our board with our saw blade right where we made our mark. Take a block and clamp it to our fence. That way we have a stop block and can make repetitive cuts. Be sure to let the blade fully stop before you go to pull it back up. Now we'll set that aside and cut the other two sides of this piece. And you should be left with something that looks like this. So we'll cut one more at this size. And there's our two first pieces. So we're going to go from 5.5-inch pieces all the way down to 1.5-inch pieces, doing 1 inch at a time, 2 a piece. So we did our 5.5s. Now we're going to go with our 4.5s, cut 2 of those, then 3.5, cut 2 of those, 2.5, cut 2 of those, and 1.5 with 2 of those. Now, it does get sketchy cutting the 3.5-inch piece. I feel comfortable doing it with the miter saw. However, if you do not feel comfortable doing this small of a piece on the miter box, use the table saw, and that'll work just as good. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the rest of our pieces down. Okay, so the 3.5 I was comfortable with on the miter box. However, with it being 2.5 and 1.5 inches, I'm just not comfortable doing it on the miter saw. So we're going to go ahead, and what we're going to do is rip your stock with a 30-degree bevel on this side, measure over 2.5 inches, and rip the bevel on this side, and then you're working with 2 sides already cut, and then we'll take the piece back to our miter box and cut the rest of the angles. That way we're working with a bigger piece. Now we're back over here on our miter station. We've got our 2.5-inch piece. We'll go ahead and cut the bevel on this side here. Okay, so now we just flip our piece this way, pull 2.5 inches, and cut that mark. And this will keep your fingers plenty far away from the blade.
Super genius.
Voila, just like so. So we'll do the same process. We'll flip our piece back over, cut the one end, flip it over once again, and mark 2.5 inches, and cut that mark. And that way your fingers are nowhere near the blade. Yippee! Okay, so we'll do the same steps with the 1.5-inch piece. And there we have it. Now our last piece is going to be 3/4 of an inch, okay? So what I did is I got one side ripped down to a 30 degree. I got my 30 degree bevel cut here. So I'm going to run this through the saw at 3/4 inches. And we'll have our bevel on this edge, and we'll bring it back to our miter saw and cut that 3/4 inch piece. Now back over here at the miter station, we'll mark 3/4 inches on our piece, on the flat part of our piece, right here. Now when you go to cut this piece, you want to be sure that you're holding it nice and firm and cut it very slow. Do not rush this cut. And you should be left with something that looks like a pyramid. So for the base of our tree, we're going to do a round block. This is a diameter of 3 1/8 inches. So we'll take our piece of poplar, line up our scribe with our wood. Go ahead and scribe out your circle. And we will cut this with the jigsaw. And there we have it. We'll take it over to our belt sander and sand right up to our line. So now that we got all our pieces, we'll take a piece of sandpaper and just get rid of some of these hairs that the saw left. All right, now we're going to fasten these pieces using wood glue and a few brad nails. So let's get to that part. So if you decide to use brad nails, just make sure you don't have brad nails that are too long. That'll bust through the other side when you nail two together. So 1 inch, 1.25 inches is pretty good. So we'll line up our bottom here, slap on a little bit of glue. We'll eyeball it. And we'll continue this process all the way up to the top. For the last two pieces, we're just using some CA glue and some activator. This will hold just fine. Now for our base, we'll apply some glue. Flip this piece over. Line it up an eyeball for center. Take our brad nailer and pop 2 nails in it. And there you have it. This project is perfect for beginners, for novices, or even experts. And you can even paint them. You can have your kids paint it, make it a family project. It is super easy to make and so much fun. Wow, guys, thanks for joining me today, and I hope you take inspiration in this and get in the shop and make some sawdust. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks, guys.